community.
My conscience is clear. I've not committed any crime against the state.
If these people think we're only prepared to die for him, we are prepared to take up arms and kill.
The earthquake struck in the middle of the night.
Take your guns, your knives, and your powder, and throw them into the sea.
When I was detained in prison after we were in solitary confinement, we were allowed to have a radio.
You're listening to Newsbreak on Lotus FM with Daresh Hariprasad.
Now, if you're not here already, then it's not too late. You can still join us online. Call us on 089 3108789. That's the number you know all too well. Now, Newsbreak is kick-starting the election process proper with this debate. It comes just days after the IEC's official closure of the voters' roll. Yesterday, the election timetable was published in the Government Gazette. Actually, that was on Friday, ladies and gentlemen. This means that the election period has unofficially started. Now, 23.6 million registered voters will go to the polls, and this is your chance to voice your views. Now, let's get down to what we've come here to discuss this afternoon at Phoenix Stonebridge. It's our first live broadcast for Newsbreak's election debate coverage. We'll begin with, we're expecting from the African National Congress, Mr. Logie Naidu, who's on his way. And we've also got Democratic Alliance, Mr. George Murray. Thank you so much for your time, sir. Representing the Minority Front is Mr. Patrick Pillay. Thank you very much for your time. We've got Mr. Richie Naidu. He's from the Inkatha Freedom Party. Thank you so much, Mr. Naidu. Congress of the People, Fatima Kader is representing that party. Thank you so much, ma'am. And Independent Democrats, we've got Mr. Hanif Hussain. Now let's just take you through the breakdown of what's going to take place today, Phoenix. The party representatives will be given 2 minutes, just 2 minutes, to briefly touch on their respective party manifestos for their vision for a better South Africa. Now our special political guest, allow me to introduce him, is analyst Kiru Naidu. Thank you so much, Mr. Kiru Naidu, for joining us this afternoon. He will then offer us a wrap and help us put these points into perspective so we understand exactly what the politics of South Africa will be heading into. And that's where you come in, the Lotus FM listener. It's 089 310 8789. Give us a call and let us know what your needs as a South African, if it's being met. We'll also have the Newsbreak team speaking to members of the audience here at Stonebridge Community Hall. So ladies and gentlemen, this is the format of our discussion. Let's talk politics. Now, we've chosen Phoenix as a microcosm of the broader South African society today. To highlight the views of this area, Newsbreak's Prabashini Naika compiled this report, and we're going to play a report of what Phoenix residents have to say about the town.
In 1904, Mahatma Gandhi purchased a plot of land near Mount Edgecombe and called it the Phoenix Settlement. After much toil by residents, Phoenix was established as a township in 1966. Some of the immediate social problems that affected Stonebridge and Clayfield were the lack of schools, transport and clinics. After 45 years of existence, with an estimated population of 300,000 people, these issues are an ongoing battle for residents. Only now, they've become worse.
Same different day. Number one, the drugs. Number two, the police.
Rishad Hussain is a taxi driver. This father of three says he has lost all hope in the Phoenix police.
And the police, they'll go past there, but they wouldn't do anything.
They know about it, but they just go past.
Plaza, Pine View, Brookdale, Terrace Manor.
The taxi rank is abuzz with commuters streaming back and forth. 29-year-old Ibrahim Khan drives into the rank and parks his taxi. He says he's disillusioned with the drug scourge in the area and its effect on young schoolgirls.
All the politicians know that the people sell sugars to our children. You must see the children over here. You must see the boys sell DVDs. You must see how they dress. The sugar is killing them. They don't even have a bath. And the girls sell themselves corner over here in the night for like 15 rand, 20 rand. Custom, I'll never like. We got no say. We just citizens. People that who's gonna listen to this can do something about it. And you know what? They got corrupt cops, yeah? The cops just go past, or the cops pick the girls up and they drop them off, or the cops go to the drug lord's house and collect money. We see it, we know.
Just then, a passerby offers his take on the social issues affecting Phoenix.
We are they're selling drugs next to my house. I've got 2 kids going up. I've got a daughter 15 years old. I've got a son 12 years old. Now what happened to them now?
And are the police aware of this particular...
Hey, the police come there, collect tax and go away. I see police every day there. The vote will change, but see, unlike you, no one talk for Indians. We just elect slum dogs.
Not long after, a simple interview turned into a heated debate about the daily struggles the people of Phoenix face. They spoke frankly about the tactics politicians use to gain their votes.
People just want to vote, but they'll say they do this, do that. They come here in the plaza, they give all the people biryani and all, and they give them hampers, that's the truth, and they say vote. Once they got their vote, you don't hear. We want the children to grow up as children, not as drug addicts.
Look at the houses, look at what vehicles they live in. And look at the people around Phoenix. What kind of life they live in? How poor life they live in. We used to down here, no one ever. I never registered to vote my life. I won't vote. Because no one doing it for me. No one must vote.
Lounging on a plastic chair, Chris Upasad complains relentlessly. His gripe? A paltry 60 rand increase in the social grant.
I think it wasn't fair. You're paying 60 rand, but like you're buying a gallon of oil only for the month, and what you're going to do the balance? Yeah. Look at the water lights in Phoenix at the moment, and councillors are living a soft life. They only come out in the election time. But when you need them, they're not there. Prostitution is very legal in this place. Decent guys with decent cars picking them up. And the policemen, they park opposite the road, they do nothing about it.
Dressed in bright summer colors, flip-flops and a bag bursting with cash destined for the nearby casino, Panjavaram Naidu says she's not happy with the police.
My concerns are mostly drugs, because these guys are doing it just directly opposite our house. And they come and park there. You get these youngsters are coming. They're so cute looking guys. I feel so sorry for them. The innocent ones are getting killed through the ones that are dealing drugs. We phoned the police, we phoned the squad. They come in after the action.
Making our way down to the local market, we bumped into 23-year-old Shamir Pillay. Dressed like he belonged in a hip-hop music video, his gold-encrusted teeth and baggy jeans disguised his true potential.
I won't never vote. These councillors and these politicians only have voting time, then they can put your road signs, then they do the roads up for us, give us houses. They never stop the crime in South Africa before they can do all of that. Make more jobs for the youngsters, man. No use finishing metric and we're sitting on the streets. I'm selling DVDs here, but I got a metric, I got a distinction in maths, but I can't get a job in a bank. I know people in the police station, they can't read and write. When I go there, they ask me how to spell my name.
Whilst people on the street complained about drug dealers and prostitution, chairperson of the Phoenix Child Welfare, Aruna Chetty, says sexual and physical abuse is of concern.
Crime and abuse is very high. Domestic violence is also very high. We run a shelter for abused women and children, and we've been packed since December.
Chetty adds that the backlog of court cases affects the prosecution of offenders.
Our matters take so long to get to court. I mean, our justice system is there, but often children are very young. They are not able to give out their testimony. We need lots of people to be trained. We need more social workers as well.
Police spokesperson Colonel Jay Naika says the public must come forward to help combat corruption within the force.
Very few of these incidents get reported or to police management, and we'd urge those who have such complaints to come forward and report this to the station commander or the trusted commander. I am positive that they will resolve these issues. It is in the interest of the community that these issues are attended to, not just spoken about on street corners.
While every effort is being made to ensure that the people of Phoenix vote for change, will their lack of trust in government stop them from voting?
Yes, I will always vote.
For the youth, it's a case of immediate delivery, but for the stalwarts of Phoenix, their wait for basic services continues. For Newsbreak, I'm Prabhashni Naika at Phoenix in Durban.
And yes, like she signed off, that was Prabhashini Naika from Newsbreak, and she visited Phoenix to highlight these social issues, which I do anticipate would be on the agenda of a lot of you present here in Stonebridge. Am I right? So let's begin then. Social issues seem to be high on the agenda at Phoenix. Each party, like I've mentioned, is 2 minutes. And let's start with the Democratic Alliance. We've got Mr. George Murray representing that party this afternoon. Mr. Murray, your 2 minutes starts now. If you could just give us a rundown.
Thank you very much. Firstly, greetings to all our listeners out there. Wanakum, namaste, assalamu alaikum, good afternoon, sanbonani onke. The Democratic Alliance would like to see a South Africa that is safe, secure and corruption free. We would like to see jobs being created, not in the manner in which the ANC is proposing to create jobs, but throwing monies at their own cronies. We would like to see an education system that works to create skills that are much needed in South Africa. We would like to see quality healthcare in South Africa in respect of the services that are rendered in the various health facilities that we are looking at. But for local government, I think what we will do, we will fix up the failure of the ANC-led city council that has failed to deliver services on an equitable basis to all our communities. I think when we look at service deliveries, we find that many people in the Indian areas, if not all, are complaining about the lack of service deliveries by the city council, where the rates are being paid, but they are not getting value for money in terms of the rates. We would like to see poor people being attended to in the form of lifeline tariffs of electricity also. I know people in Phoenix are not getting the lifeline tariff for electricity. We would like to see that implemented. Housing, we would like to see corruption eradicated from housing. We would like to see waiting lists created that cannot be manipulated by the ruling party in this province as well as the Tekwini municipality, where housing application forms are being dished out for promises of votes in the election. And they did that in the last election, 20,000 application forms which are rejected by the housing head, Mr. Koglan Pata. We would like to see housing allocations being taken place on the basis of a waiting list where people know when they're going to get a house and how long they're going to wait for. In terms of fraud and corruption, we would ensure that there is a dedicated team out in the eThekwini municipality to ensure that all contracts follow these supply chain management processes so that corruption and fraud can be eliminated. Jobs, we believe that poverty is very high in the Phoenix area. I know our Councillor Ronnie Viren, he started a poverty program in Ward 49, which is very, very successful. We would like to see that taken to all wards in Phoenix and other areas.
Mr. Murray, your 2 minutes are up. Thank you very much for that party manifesto. Now let's proceed with the rest of this debate. Mr. Logi Naidu will be representing the African National Congress, and he has just joined us. So, Mr. Naidu, can you just have 2 minutes to deliver your party manifesto?
Thank you very much. My apologies. We are at a funeral today of our late councillor Mshibe, from where I'm coming, but on behalf of the ANC, we are very clear. We have a manifesto that clearly explains our vision about building a new democratic South Africa. We are in line with international call to meet the Millennium Development Goals as a developing nation. By 2020, we would like to see all our citizens enjoying basic services, water, electricity, sanitation. We want to see the development of South Africa's economy so that we create jobs that will reduce unemployment by half by 2015. We're investing in infrastructure development, 500 billion to get the wheels of our economy turning, and notwithstanding the recession that the international community faced, we want to make sure that in South Africa we withstand all of these external forces and we continue to build and create jobs so that people will be gainfully employed. We will continue to create a better life for all our citizens through many of our programs. We want to fast track the delivery of services, basic services in particular. Up to now, we have built 2.8 million new homes. We have provided clean water for an extra 9 million people. We have brought health services easier to our communities by building 500 new clinics in largely underserviced areas. We brought nearly 4 million new electricity connections to our citizens and 2 million new telephone connections. We provided free daily meals to over 5 million primary school children in our schools, and we have provided grants to more than 13 million people, mostly children, pensioners, and people.
Mr. Logie Naidu, I'll have to stop you there. You're 2 minutes out. Thank you very much for that. Now we're going to proceed to our next speaker this afternoon, and that's from the Minority Front. Mr. Patrick Pillay, your 2 minutes starts now.
Thank you very much. Dear listeners, the Minority Front is very concerned. Our citizens are suffering, and it started at the capital. Our capital city is bankrupt. My leader, Mr. Rajbansi, has said in the provincial legislature that the cancer will spread to other cities, and it did. The forensic report in the city is the greatest shame of the eThekwini municipality, exposing earth-shattering revelations of corruption, contracts for pals, tenderpreneurs, and shoddy housing workmanship. Dear listeners, the three massive projects, the ICC, Durban Marine Theme Park, as well as Shocker Marine, is generating approximately 100 million rand that the ratepayers have to pay every year. And this is unacceptable. This council must stop fleecing our ratepayers. People are suffering. When they look at their consolidated billing, electricity has increased by 45% in the past 2 years. Water has increased by 19% in the past 2 years. And to add further salt to the wound, there's a new sewer tariffs, which is an additional burden to all our ratepayers. People just cannot live anymore, listeners. The Minority Front is calling on the rooting out of corruption. We want a clean city. We want more housing opportunities for our people, and there must be a national waiting list as opposed to the current allocation policies and processes. The MF is saying no to drugs. The Minority Front is working very closely with the Foundation for a Drug-Free Zone, and we are taking this to schools, educating our pupils in respect of the harm drugs does to oneself. Ladies and gentlemen, we are also, the MF is working very closely with the SEPs in terms of sector policing. We are taking the policies to the communities and engaging the communities in proactive participation with SEPs to ensure that our area become crime-free.
Mr. Patrick, that's where we'll have to leave it with you. But let's move on now. We're going to go to Mr. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just confused over here. We're going to go to Mr. Richie Naidu from the Inkatha Freedom Party, who's going to give us a 2-minute rundown of his party manifesto. Your time starts now.
Good day to all the listeners and all the people up here. Our manifesto is quite clear. The people in Phoenix are suffering, and we, as the IFP, want to sort as many problems as possible for the people. Crime is one of those issues which we feel is not being done enough by the people, or by the community, or the parties. Then we're going on to rates, lights and water. That too, we're saying that people are paying exorbitant rates in Phoenix. In connection with job creation, we are saying presently there's one contractor which is building all the houses in Phoenix. We saying that this must stop. There's plenty of other people that can also build and do the same job. Even better quality can be got from these people. In connection to poverty, we are saying that people in Phoenix are suffering. There are plenty of land that has not been used. And we are saying that we can allow the people to lease these properties so that it can make up veg gardens. In connection with health issues, and especially AIDS, which is killing our people in South Africa, we're saying that the government should give more monies so that more ARVs can be given out to the people. Drugs and substance abuse, this is killing our teenagers especially. And we are saying that more police involvement, the public as well. Education programs should be given out to the people so that to educate all children. In connection with sports, if you look at this 2010 World Cup, Phoenix was not on the map.
We'll have to leave it there with you. Thank you very much for that, Mr. Naidu. Thank you. Moving on to our next party representative, that's from the Congress of the People. Ms. Fatima Kadir, you have 2 minutes to speak.
Good day to one and all. I'm not going to promise you or our party would not promise you anything that the people promise and don't stand by. Our aim is to become the biggest opposition party for all, for the right reason, for the common community. We have the support in doing so. Our aim is to rid any corruption. Our party is the People's Party. You have tried all the rest. Give us a try and you'll see what we can provide for y'all or prove to y'all. Thank you.
Thanks very much for that, Ms. Kadir. Let's go to the Independent Democrats. We've got Mr. Hanif Hussain. Your 2 minutes start now.
Thank you very much for the opportunity and good afternoon to your listeners. You know, when I listened to that insert that you played at the beginning of this program, it made it very clear to me that the concerns that people are raising in that insert are the very concerns that have been in our community for as long as I've been a little boy. Nothing much has changed in our community. And the reason why that hasn't changed is because you've heard from the political parties before I spoke that each and every one of us are fighting for exactly the same thing, but instead of fighting for the people out there, we are focusing our attention on each other and fighting each other instead of fighting for our people. And it's for that reason, as the Independent Democrats' commitment to building a stronger opposition in this country, in August last year, we took a decision to form a relationship and an alliance with the Democratic Alliance so that we can have a stronger voice in Parliament. And where we sit at the moment, we have in excess of 71 seats at National Parliament, and we have a much stronger voice that will be able to speak for the people in South Africa and fight for their rights as opposed to fighting against each other. So as the Independent Democrats, our call in this election campaign is to vote for the change in this election, teach our political parties a lesson, send them away when they come to your doors, asking for your vote and offering you biryani. What we need is to fight together, to stand together, to fight a common enemy as the ANC. You've heard before that they raised a number of issues of houses that they've built in South Africa. I haven't seen a single house built in our Indian communities. So unless we stand together and fight together against the common enemy, the ANC, we will continuously be divided by them and the ANC will deliver nothing.
Okay. And there you have it, our party speaking. If I could just ask the crowd to be a bit respectful when a party is delivering their manifesto. No, but we need to be a bit more disciplined when people are speaking, Mr. Rajbansi. Time is running out, ladies and gentlemen. We're coming through live here from Stonebridge Community Hall. We've got our political analyst, Kiru Naidu. Kiru, we've heard what society is saying, we've heard what politicians have to say. Is there a correlation of the gender here?
Well, very importantly, we have to keep in mind that this is a local election. This is for local government. The issues and the flavor of the election will be different from when you're looking at broader national issues. And I think that the parties that do well in this community are the ones that have their fingers on the pulses. And if we look at the trends that we've seen in the 2000 election, the 2006 election, the parties that have been able to speak to those local issues, and as we saw in that package, this is a community that is peculiar in the sense. And, you know, you can level that at apartheid, you can level that at history and so on, but there's some genuine concerns on the ground, and the people that get elected are the ones who have a resonance with that local community. There's a lot of discussion and debate about the Indian community in South Africa. There's this perception that this is a community that's nicely off, that's comfortable and so on. But if you look inside of Phoenix, what's hidden here is a growing community of joblessness, growing community of the poor, of people becoming very desperate, people sleeping behind the plaza and so on. And that's the sort of issues that the political parties ought to be responding to, rather than the grander political ideals that we see on the national agenda.
Well, Phoenix, you've heard what has been discussed here. Do you think the issues you need to be raised have been raised? Okay, so let's just get some questions from our audiences. We have our news break team with roving mics. They will be coming to you. Let's do this in a dignified fashion. Ma'am, if you could have your name, please.